Hello, YouTube friends. This is a comment on the ongoing crisis. Another crisis has arisen. There is no more news on the CBC, the official voice for the man here in Canada, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. These people are despicable in their reporting. They don't do any fact or news reporting. They create stories in order for people to latch onto. And of course, the craze, the incredible fanaticism around having people comply with the Ukraine good, Russia bad thing is extraordinary. But here is an interesting sort of sideline to this, which shows me that the COVID shit show is a worldwide event for all governments, but this particular shit show is allowed to be different. You don't have to go along with the things that the consensual view, the Western view, the U.S., Canada, European Union, probably Japan as well, are all in on this horrible Russian dictator. Uh, I mean, the guy is president for life. So you can imagine that there is a problem. Democracy should have a problem with the idea of a president for life. But that is not the issue. That is not an argument I want to have, or thoughts that I had on this is about the COVID shit show. How everything was uh, so completely worldwide coordinated. Within weeks, everyone was doing the same thing. Now, within a short period of time since this so-called invasion that the Russians are orchestrating, and there are always players behind. I mean, these are all just theatrical events. Doesn't mean people don't get hurt. I mean, this is something I want to make clear. When I say, theater or the clowns and the bastards are doing their stuff, people get hurt. And there's a lot of people getting hurt, and there's some very nasty people involved in this who are indulging their ability to create suffering, which is the underlying motive with a lot of things that happen in terms of world affairs events. That if people aren't suffering, it's not worth doing. So with this COVID shit show, clearly people have suffered enormously, continue to suffer. The fallout from this is going to be for a long time. But the interesting part for me in this is why I understand the COVID shit show was a coordinated effort, whereas this, for whatever reason, there is a large segment of the population, I would say more than half of the people, are not going along with the narrative of Ukraine good, Russia bad. Because you have even, I think, Brazil and um, certainly India and China have not been coordinated into this effort. They seem to be able to be coordinated in the COVID shit show, but this one is for some reason different. Why is that? That's a question I had. That's a thought that I had. And what does that signify? What does that mean in terms of what it is we're witnessing? The consensual narrative, or the story that we're supposed to repeat over and over, and wear the blue and yellow flag on our lapels and all of this kind of stuff. It's not going to be a worldwide event like the COVID shit show has been a worldwide event. Will continue to be. I think it's a lull. It's a lull for the time being, and the lull is being uh, facilitated by this new event, the so-called Russian aggression. So my thought today, it's just a brief thought, that this is not as coordinated as the COVID shit show, which is interesting to me. And I'm not saying that it's um, any less subversive. I think there is a great deal of subversion here, but to the extent that this opens up speculation about, whenever I think about who the bastards are in the back room, and their front people, leaders of the world, our own prime minister, other leaders, Macron in France, and there are variations on a theme, but they're basically appearing to be just front people for someone else who's coordinating. And is this coordination, this Russia thing, is this outside the scope on the level that the COVID shit show was? I suspect it is. I don't think it has the coordination, the skills to inculcate all countries, or maybe it's possible that the dissenting countries are part of the coordinated effort to make it appear like this is a more, shall I say, natural event. That when has the world ever agreed 100% on everything? And this was the case with the beer virus. Everybody agreed that this lethal flesh-eating disease that's going to kill you in 3 days, like the Black Death, like the plague of the 1300s, this was going to shut down everything on the planet, and everyone agreed. And then when it didn't happen, you can't admit that it's not happening. It's like this could never be admitted to, because for whatever reason, the concerted effort was always to hammer this home, that we're in a life and death situation, and all the measures that are being brought in had to be done worldwide, everybody. But this Russia-Ukraine thing, nah, you can disagree. If you're China, well, I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what you think. Why it's not as completely complicit, why all the countries are not complicit in this. Why is there a separation? Or is it that Russia, now again, it's the boogeyman, the Cold War boogeyman rises their ugly head again, and you're going to have a Jean Le Carré, the new Jean Le Carré, whoever that might be. Or is it John Le Carré? The spy writer. I love those spy movies. So it'll set up a possible series, a television series or a movie, for why Russia is now again the Cold War adversary that the West had, but it's not ubiquitous. It's not 100% compliant, and that's curious to me. Why is this event not 100% compliant? Because in a new world order, one would imagine, unless of course the subversion is without letting us feel that, oh, not everybody's on board, so it's not a new world order yet. It's not a global government. It's not a worldwide government yet, because people are dissenting. Countries are dissenting. Bolsonaro in Brazil said he's not going to go along with it, and all the other places. It's interesting. I don't know what you might think about this. Why isn't it as coordinated as the COVID shit show?